Hello everyone, it's Dawn and welcome back. Now, as promised on Wednesday, we're going to do a rather crazy technique, or a crazy sounding technique, let's put it that way. So I've already made up one card because I wanted to show you what we're going to be doing. Now, this card is really all about the background and how we're going to create this background. We're going to do a different colour theme because it's going to be a sea theme. Hopefully it'll make us feel a bit cooler in this what seems to be everlasting heat wave that we're having at the moment. So I am going to do a blue themed one, but the background itself is okay, but you may be surprised at what I've used to create it. Although if you've seen my videos before, you might not be the least bit surprised. So I'm going to slide that to one side, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in my stamping block. And onto my stamping block, you'll see what I'm going to be using in a minute. Now this is unusual, I know, even unorthodox, but that's okay. I'm going to put just a little bit of, this is just a glue stick. So if I stick within the frame, hopefully you can see it. And I've cut what I'm going to be using to stamp just a little bit bigger than this block, and you'll see why in just a second. So I'll just pop that down, pop that up there. Now, here we go. Wait for it, folks. We are going to use some bubble wrap. Yep, you heard that right, bubble wrap. And I'm going to lay that onto my mat or onto my block. If you've got one of these large blocks, it makes an awful lot of difference because it makes your stamping quicker. And I'm just going to, I deliberately cut that a little bit too big because it makes it easier to cut it to size. It's a bit like when you're cutting your mats for your cards. If you cut them slightly too big to begin with, you can always cut them down. If you cut them too small to begin with, you've got to start again. So we're just going to cut that down on all four sides with my scissors. Now I would recommend you use scissors for this. And then what we do is we find our card. Where's well, there we go. We find our card, she says, and this is a 5x7 card, but this process or this technique will work with any size card. You don't have to use a 5x7, but that's what I happen to have cut. And what we're going to do, I'm just going to hold that there like that so that you can see what I'm doing. This is just an ordinary ink pad, and I'm just going to dab the ink onto the bubble wrap. This is unpopped. I haven't popped this bubble wrap. I don't know what it would look like if you did pop it, so if you want to go on and have fun and pop your bubble wrap first and then ink it up, that's entirely up to you. And do let me know how it turns out, because I've no idea. So you just tap it up like that. It will sink in a little bit, but don't worry. Oh, there's a bit of bubble wrap there. Let's get rid of that. And what we're going to do, I would recommend that you have a piece of scrap paper underneath, because you don't want this going onto your work table or your work surface. And all you do is you put it over and you stamp it like that. Ever so quick and ever so simple. I'll just move my other bits and pieces out of the way because everything's sticking to my arm. So we're going to carry on, or we're going to carry on. You will get covered in ink doing this, just to warn you, or you might do. If you're a messier crafter as I am, you'll get absolutely covered in it. But never mind. We're going to do that again, and that will fill that area. And once we've finished this process, we're not just going to leave it there. Of course we're not. We're going to turn this into a project and make a proper card out of it, or a full card out of it, I should say. So we're going to carry on building up this area. We won't be long. So again, we just dab the ink pad over the bubble wrap and stamp it like that. Now, because it's so hot, I've got the windows open, so if anyone's listening to this outside, they really will think I've gone crackers. Never mind. They won't be thinking anything they don't already know. So we're going to just do that there, and then I'm going to do that just once more. Just ink that up a little bit and just finish off that corner. Now I really am going to put it out the way. And as you can see, I have got it on my hands. Now if that does happen, and it's bound to, just grab yourself, you can use a baby wipe if you like, but this is just an ordinary, actually these are just facial wipes. That'll come off your hands like that, enough to let you carry on working. And if you peel off your piece of your bubble wrap, you can use that to wipe the glue off of your stamping block, and it'll be nice and clean again. So while we've done all that, we should have that should just about be dry enough. I'm going to take this backing paper away because otherwise it could be a bit confusing when we do the rest of it. So I'll just put that over there. And we're going to finish off this card and complete it. And I have got a mat. This is a 5x7 card, as we said. Now you can make your mat whatever size you like. This one is a 6x4 inch. And I'm going to use my giant glue stick for this, but you can use any glue stick you've got. That's absolutely fine. I like these ones because they're nice and strong and they last a long time. And when you use as much glue stick as I do, the standard ones, I go through them too quickly. So I pick up one of these giant ones. Sometimes I use the little ones. Depends what I'm doing. And I'm going to lay that down like that. So this is a nice sort of watery paper. So you can use any papers you've got and any theme and colour scheme that you've got in your stash. That's absolutely fine. And then in my stash, I found this gorgeous little turtle and I absolutely love him. So I am going to put that, again I'm going to use glue stick. Because it's only paper, this is only paper, so you don't really need anything stronger than that. If it was a card, if your image was on card, I would recommend you use a stronger glue, such as tacky glue, or maybe even foam pads. So there we go, we're almost done. Well, you could leave that like that if you wanted to, but on this one, I'm going to put a sentiment. It's going to be a birthday card. And I've die cut a happy birthday sentiment, but it's a birthday banner, and I do have a bit of a problem. Because, as you can see, it's too long. So we've got two options. We could just cut off the ends and we could stick it like that. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a small pair of scissors. Oops, sorry about that. I am going to cut off the ends like that. But I'm also going to chop it in half. I'm going to cut it there. Let's move the card a bit to one side. I'm going to chop it off there. And I'm going to chop it just behind the B for birthday. And then I'm going to put them down in two separate levels. So now we've got two separate pieces. And for this, I'm going to use my red runner tape. And at the top, I'm going to put that there like that. And if you heard that noise, it was the postman coming, so don't worry about it. So I'm going to stick my happy there and stick it down like that. And just underneath, we are going to put a slightly longer strip of runner tape. And we're going to put the birthday. So I'm just going to put it down. Yes, I think that'll be all right. So just lay it down gently until you're happy with the position. And there we go. There is our, in this case, birthday card. I'm just going to get rid of all the clutter. And this one is in blue with a lovely aquamarine centre or image. And this one is in pink with a beautiful vintage rose. So whichever way you do it, it still looks great. With whatever colour scheme you use, whatever patterns, images you use, this technique will look great. And it started with a bit of bubble wrap like that. So there we go. There is our bubble wrap, stamped bubble wrap background. That's probably what we'll call it. You'll find out what it's going to be called when it goes up. But I found my stamping with bubble wrap. How about that? So perhaps we'll have that when we put our video up. So I hope you've enjoyed this one and found it interesting and helpful. And if you've got any bubble wrap and some ink pads, have a go yourself and see what you come up with. And I will see you on Monday with another bubble wrap project, but we're not going to be printing with it. We're going to be doing something else with it. So I wish you a great weekend. Do stay safe, have fun, and as always, happy crafting. Bye bye for now.